What's going on, my friends? I've got a great Citizen watch to show off today. This one is the NB1050. I believe this one is a Japan-only model, and I could be wrong. All I know is every online store that had these in stock were shipping from Japan. But regardless, it's still very easy to order if you do live in the US. If you're not willing to stick around for the whole review, the bottom line up front is that this is one of those watches that does it all. It looks nice, it's solid, it's a tool watch, it's a beater, and it's relatively affordable when considering what all you're getting compared to what is genuinely expected from the watch community. I'll try to come up with some criticisms, but I just need to be clear here that I absolutely love this watch. So starting off with price, I purchased mine from eBay for $420. This seems to be the ballpark average of what you should expect to pay when buying it brand new. Based on my own personal experience, while I consider the price to be a bit high, it's not grossly out of place for what I received. Here are the dimensions, and oh my Lanta, these dimensions are perfect. The internet will tell you that this watch is 38 millimeters, however I have repeatedly measured this watch at 37.4. I know that's a negligible difference, but it is a difference that I care about. Everyone's got their size preference, and believe me, I fully understand the virtual risks of stating my opinion in front of overly sensitive watch enthusiasts, but here's my opinion anyways. 37 millimeters is the Goldilocks size. 37 millimeters is for everyone. It's small enough to look tasteful and large enough to support an impactful dial and lug-to-lug. On my almost 8-inch wrist, you can see that it is perfectly at home without looking out of place despite being technically on the smaller side. The only negative that I can think of for 37 millimeters is that is often paired with odd lug widths, but for me the benefit outweighs the minor inconvenience. The NB1050 is powered by a 9000 series in-house Citizen movement, which means you should expect around plus 20, minus 10 seconds per day. I don't care so much about that. In real life, for me, this watch gets me to work and all of my meetings on time, so I am satisfied. The power reserve is going to average around 42 hours, which is more than enough if you wear this watch daily, but of course you will need to reset the time if you take it off during the weekend. We've got a stainless steel case here with Citizen's legendary Duratect coating, which we will get into later, a sapphire crystal, a push-pull crown, a screw-down open caseback, and a 3-link bracelet with a dual push-button milled deploying clasp. All of this gives us a water resistance rating of 100 meters, so it will survive a splash from your coffee cup while you're taking a wrist shot in front of your steering wheel. Citizen Lume is industry leading, and there's no exception here. The lume is strong and long-lasting, and it isn't over-applied, which is in line with the more professional style of the watch. I love how it's more of a blue tone, which gives it a modern touch. The dial is simple and timeless. The applied indices provide a level of depth that breathes life into any watch, and the chrome contrasts well with the black dial. When caught in the right light, the black background transforms into a beautiful sunray painting, which is always a joy to look at. My biggest complaint with the watch is with the rehaut. As you can see, they decided to apply a chrome polish there also, which I feel is too much. Considering the bezel and indices are already chromed out, a brushed rehaut would have tied everything together much better. I'm even considering brushing it myself because I can't get over it. I know it's nitpicky, but I'm a watch diva, what can I say? Now looking at the crown, I know a lot of people are going to not like that it's a push-pull crown, but all I can say is that push-pull crowns are perfectly fine. They provide just as good of a watertight seal, and in fact remove any risk of the user damaging the gasket. As far as the action goes, it's solid. Nothing about it feels flimsy or wobbly, and when you're turning it, it feels like you're handling something that was put together with care and purpose. Usually I'm a fan of sign crowns, but in this case I find the plain crown to be fitting with the overall plain style of the watch. The mirrored polish on the head provides enough visual diversity. The caseback is fairly standard, nothing to write home about, but I think the movement is decorated enough to justify an open display. You're getting some beautiful finishing, and it adds to the whole bang for your buck appeal. I'm not sure I'm a fan of the rotor design. I find it a little childish and gimmicky, but of course that's just my opinion. Objectively it works, and is unique, so I'm sure a lot of people are gonna like it. Nothing much to say about the bracelet. It's standard bracelet affair, but to that end it's solid. There are solid end links, solid links, and a milled clasp. The clasp only allows for 2 micro-adjust positions, which is dumb. You'd think designers would know by now that having several micro-adjust positions is important, but that's just how it is, I guess. I understand that the length of the clasp doesn't allow for much room in that aspect, but it is something to be of note if you do plan on buying one. The finishing here is superb with a good 50-50 mix of mirror and brushed polishing. It is very reminiscent of your Explorer type watches or your Seiko Sarbs, but in my honest opinion, I feel that it is executed the best here. The finishing on this watch is paired with Citizen's Duratect Platinum Surface Hardening Coating. This protective measure isn't necessarily scratch proof, but it's pretty damn close. There's nothing better than removing that anxiety of scuffs and scratches. Some people like to pretend they love scratches, and I am not one of them. If I can keep my watch looking pristine, then I will do so, but that's just me. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a scratch is going to ruin a watch for me, but you're just never going to find me intentionally trying to beat up my watch for no reason. This is a watch that's going to look great in the office while simultaneously handling any arduous task and coming out looking just as good as before. The super resilient case with the sapphire crystal means that you could probably just buy this watch secondhand with no concern of any noticeable marks on it. That's super cool in my book. Overall, if you couldn't tell already, I love this watch. It's solid through and through and aesthetically pleasing on the wrist. It checks off all the boxes for what one would look for in a go anywhere, do anything watch, and frankly, if you're one of those psychos that only needs one watch, this would be an excellent choice. For whatever it means to you, you've got my wholehearted recommendation on the NB1050. But that's all for now. I hope I was able to show you some different angles and footage of this watch that you hadn't seen before. If you stuck around this long, a like, comment, and subscribe is always appreciated, and hopefully I'll see you around in the next episode. Bye.